It is now my pleasure to introduce your 2016 Valedictorian, Eryl Fraser, graduate of Medical Laboratory Sciences program. Please welcome Eryl.
Good morning, fellow graduates, faculty, family, and friends. It was a little over 3 years ago that I sat in a similar, much smaller hall, anxiously awaiting the beginning of the MMIs. Back then, I never would have imagined I would be standing here today, the 2016 graduating class of Michener, the Michener Institute's valedictorian, and I couldn't be more honored. During my orientation week, we were all given t-shirts with the word evolve across them. The graphic depicted a primate aging into a school-aged child, a young adult student, and finally a healthcare professional, stethoscope in hand, ready to save the world one patient at a time. Back then, this seemed to be a perfect depiction of our transcendence towards today. It showed the path I'd personally taken, persevering through years of school in order to reach the career of my dreams. It wasn't until I began my career here at Michener that I saw how different evolution can look on each of us. During my time here, I had the opportunity to get to know a number of you. First, I met you on student council and as an orientation volunteer. Later, as an orientation coordinator. We all came from different backgrounds, some of us following the university path, others, secure in what they wanted to do since childhood, came here straight from high school. Some of us found healthcare as a second or third career after we'd worked in different fields. Some of us traveled from other countries where we'd already played an active role in patient care, now here in Canada to undergo training. If I were to redesign that t-shirt today, it would be an indistinguishable web of personalities, possibilities, routes, and options. No simple linear progression could ever sum up who we are or how we got here. We were also all inspired to go into our fields by different circumstances. Some of us were curious, wanting to explore how the human body works and heals. Others had experienced illness of their own or family members, felt touched by the care they've received, and went looking for a way to give back. Today, I wanted to tell you why I chose medical laboratory science as a profession. I wanted to describe for you the one moment when I picked my future and knew it would be the right one. But for me, this was so much more than a moment. It was a process. My undergraduate career at the University of Toronto was spent mapping out a huge list of things that I didn't want to be when I grew up. I bounced back and forth between English literature and biology courses, learning a little bit of everything, and I came to Michener as much through luck as anything else, starting in a career I didn't fully understand just because I knew I loved medical testing and I knew I didn't want to be a doctor. Little did I know it would lead me to the best friends I could have ever hoped for and to a career I was going to love. Although we all came into healthcare for different reasons, I like to think that we all stayed for the same one, because what we do here matters. Each of us will play a role in the lives of others every single day of our careers. Working in the blood transfusion lab at St. Joseph's Health Center, I've already seen the importance of what we can do as healthcare professionals. I test, prepare, and issue blood products to help critically ill patients and to allow people to have life-saving operations. Every unit that I prepare represents not only a half hour of work for me, or a patient whose life may have just been saved, but it also represents a person who took time out of their day, uncompensated, to give a piece of themselves away to help a stranger. In our careers, we will be witness to both tragedies and to miracles. We'll meet patients on the worst days of their lives, and if we're lucky, we may get to help make them a little bit better. Healthcare is constantly evolving and reworking itself. You can start your job with one job description, but retire with a completely different one. You might learn a new technology, and then a year from now find it completely obsolete. We as students, and now as healthcare professionals, are challenged with the need to be adaptable, to roll with the punches, and to constantly redefine ourselves within our professions. Our time at Michener has been all about honing this skill. To our new grads, the advice I'd like to leave you with is to remain focused, stay engaged, look at the big picture, and always be adaptable. When you have the opportunity to train a student or a new hire in your workplace, meet them with the same enthusiasm, patience, and endless passion that our professors offered us. Let's all recognize that today isn't only our last as students, but our first as alumni, a far-reaching community that spans continents and can bring us endless opportunities should we only choose to look for them. Most importantly, let's never forget that long before we wore the scrubs, the lab coats, and the latex-free gloves, we were all once patients, sitting scared in a waiting room somewhere, trusting somebody else to take care of us. Let's remember to always honor the trust that our patients will put in us now. 3 years ago, it may have been an auditorium of unfamiliar faces I sat with, but today I'm happy to say I stand before a room of classmates, friends, and maybe even future colleagues. Today, when we leave this hall, we'll do it the same way we took our MMIs, the same way we've overcome every bump and hurdle that stood between us and this day, and the same way that will eventually change the face of healthcare. Together. Thank you and congratulations.